They say discipline builds strength, but they never tell you about the fire it lights inside, a fire that doesn't warm you, but burns everything weak within you. This isn't the kind of discipline you practice for a week or a month. It's the kind that rewires your soul, destroys comfort, and rebuilds you into something almost unrecognizable. At first, it feels noble. You wake up early, control your impulses, and hold your ground against distraction. The world applauds your effort, and for a while, you start believing this journey is about success. But soon, the applause fades, and the silence begins. The rewards vanish. The results slow down. The excitement dies, and you're left face to face with the truth. Discipline was never meant to make you feel good. It was meant to make you unbreakable. This is where most people fall apart. Because they don't understand that true discipline demands suffering, quiet, invisible suffering that no one sees. It's the kind that breaks your ego, strips away your excuses, and crushes your emotions until only reason remains. Every day becomes a battle between who you are and who you could be. And in that war, comfort is the first casualty. Those who cannot stand the silence, quit. Those who endure it, evolve. And so begins the transformation, the first stage of the most dangerous form of discipline. The stage where fire consumes everything weak inside you, and prepares you for what's next. When the fire burns long enough, it stops being external. It turns inward. You no longer fight the world, you fight yourself. Every thought, every emotion, every desire becomes a battlefield. The enemy is no longer distraction or laziness, it's the part of you that wants comfort, that wants rest, that whispers, "You've done enough." This is where the war truly begins. The Stoics called it the inner citadel, a fortress built not of walls, but of will. Inside it, the mind learns to endure what the body resists. Each morning, the undisciplined version of you rises again, begging for ease. But the disciplined mind answers with silence. It obeys reason, not emotion. It acts without the need for motivation. In this phase, most break. Not because they're weak, but because they misunderstand what discipline really is. It's not control over time or routine, it's control over the self. It's the ability to remain steady in chaos, calm in boredom, patient in failure. You begin to realize that discipline is not about achieving perfection. It's about mastering your response when everything feels pointless. That's why few can survive it. Because it strips away the illusion that life owes you comfort. It teaches that the hardest battles are the ones fought in silence, with no audience and no reward. And just when you think you've won the war within, life tests you again, with something far greater than fatigue or doubt. At some point, even the strongest begin to falter. The fire dims. The fortress cracks. And for the first time, you feel the weight of it all, the endless effort, the quiet isolation, the constant restraint. It's as if your soul begins to suffocate under the pressure of your own expectations. This is the collapse, the moment when discipline no longer feels noble, but cruel. You wake up and wonder what it's all for. The mind that once stood firm begins to whisper again, but this time, its voice is heavier. You're tired. You've done enough. And for a brief moment, you believe it. Many never rise from this point. They quit quietly, convincing themselves that moderation is wisdom. But the Stoic knows that this moment is not the end, it's the test. For discipline, like the forge, must first break what it intends to strengthen. When you lose everything, your motivation, your drive, your spark, that's when the truth appears. You realize that discipline was never about results, never about rewards. It was about identity. Who you become when there is nothing left to fuel you. From that collapse, something new begins to form. It's quieter, steadier, more unshakable. A kind of calm that doesn't seek validation. A focus that doesn't rely on emotion. The old self dies, and in its ashes, the Stoic is born, not driven by passion, but by purpose. But even rebirth demands one final trial. When the old self has burned away, what remains is something few ever touch, the unbreakable mind. It's not loud. It doesn't seek praise. It simply endures. It moves through chaos as if untouched by it, guided by principles carved deep into the soul. This is the final form of discipline, the one that no longer feels like effort. It becomes instinct. You no longer need motivation, nor do you crave results. You act because it is right to act. You move forward because standing still is no longer an option. The war within is over, but not because you defeated your weakness, because you learned to live above it. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius woke every morning to a life of duty, not desire. Epictetus, once a slave, found freedom not in escape, but in self-mastery. Their power came not from strength, but from stillness, from the calm that comes when nothing can tempt you away from your path. This is the most dangerous form of discipline, the kind that silences pleasure, defies comfort, and transforms pain into fuel. It's the level where emotion no longer commands action, where desire no longer defines purpose. You no longer chase greatness, you become it, quietly, consistently, relentlessly. Few can survive this path because it doesn't promise happiness. It promises transformation. And those who endure it don't just master their lives, they master themselves. Subscribe to Stoic Hustle, where strength is forged in silence, wisdom replaces emotion, and every video makes you harder to break.